Hey guys, so again, I'm kind of late by a couple hours. But as I said, yes, last night, this video I want to talk about my opinion on some stuff about Marvel movies. And that is the main complaint that I've always heard that Marvel movies should have stopped at their endgame. First off, if you believe that, shut the fuck up, you're a fucking idiot. If you believe that a company like Marvel Studios, is going to just stop making movies after one big event, you are very stupid. And I'm not saying that I've liked every property. No, I have barely even watched a lot of Marvel movies. Even up to going into Endgame, I didn't watch a bunch of their movies. But that doesn't mean all of them are bad. That's the thing. Everyone always says, "Oh, Marvel hasn't been the same since Endgame." And while that, yes, that is very true, some stuff has just not been the same since that big thing. But my thing is, you have to take the good with the bad. Everything will have a bright side of stuff, well, then it could have a bad side. It's like everything. They'll have a good run, they'll have a slump for a while, then they'll start making it back. Marvel hit their slump because some properties, while majorly changing a character, did not get well received. I can understand that, but that doesn't mean everyone disliked them. Some people definitely liked Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. I'm not a fan of either or, but that doesn't mean there are fans and people who did like the shows. Even a certain Moon Knight, that did relatively freaking well for only, what was it, like 6 or 7 episodes? Shang-Chi, one of my favorite movies that have come out since Endgame. Even then, there are some movies that I still have yet to watch. Mainly, the one I heard so many good things about after it came out was Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. Another thing I hate is people calling it the MCU. If you have a problem with female characters taking seemingly the spotlight, shut up. There can be great female characters, and the ones they have been using, while sometimes will flop, they're not bad. Some of their stories and the ones they use for the movies could not be the best they can use, but they still can be good. A good example of this is more than likely the future of they're going to do with Yelena from Black Widow. And admittedly, I did not watch Black Widow, but my sister is a humongous fan of it. She loves Black Widow. She loves Yelena, White Widow. My thing is, while I like Black Widow, this is just my personal thing, I would not think she could carry a full movie by herself. It has nothing to do with it. I'm positive the movie is great. I've heard pretty good things about when it came out. Should I give it a try? Probably. I probably should give it a try. Another one that, this is a main one I want to talk about that came out, and that is The Marvels. People were saying, like, this was one of their biggest flops since 2008. And I want to say this about The Marvels. I have no interest in any of this. She-Hulk, I can tolerate. While I'm not a fan of it, I can at least tolerate some of it. There are some things I don't like about it, and there's some things I can get into. I do actually like the look of She-Hulk. It's herself. And aside from the clips that everyone always used on TikTok, mainly of her insulting Bruce Banner or twerking, that one I always had a problem. That's the most She-Hulk thing, really, in that show that I've seen of clips, is her twerking. It's like the most She-Hulk thing of a modern age She-Hulk. With the Marvels, my whole thing was this, mainly when it came to Captain Marvel. I don't like how in every other appearance and this has no disrespect to Brie Larson or the girl playing Miss Marvel, or even the woman playing Photon. Nothing against them. These are all about the characters. I want to make that incredibly clear. I will never blame an actor for a role, with the exception of Jared Leto and Joker. That is one of the few times I will blame an actor for a character, because if you would, any actor, in my opinion, that had respect for superheroes and comic book characters would look at what they were doing to Joker and said, "No, I quit." At least that's what I would think. Probably not because of paychecks. I don't know. Just kind of Joker in, I believe that was 2016. 2016 was a bad year for Joker. Thank God for Joaquin Phoenix bringing that out of the mud. I never liked how Captain Marvel was written. She was always written as this stoic, stone-faced, superior character. And this is, I like characters that have expressions. I like characters that are very expressive. Good versions of this are Spidey, Cap, and Iron Man. And if you want female versions of these, I can go with Black Widow, Yelena, and even in animation, Moon Girl, Mighty Thor, Nebula, Gamora. They all have expressions. Even villains, Hela, that has to be one of the best solo MCU project villains in my opinion, is Hela. That aren't Avengers movies. Even wacky characters like that I'm positive some people think were ruined in their movies. Gore, the God Butcher. I agree on one part of this, that I wish we could have seen more of Gore in that movie, in Love and Thunder. Because I can safely say, I am one of the people that love Love and Thunder. I thought that was a freaking awesome movie. It's the reason I have my Thor hammer. I have a replica of Jane Foster, Mighty Thor hammer, Mjolnir, where it's all shattered and... Anyway, back to what I was talking about. I don't like characters who are all non-expressive, just that for so long in the movie. And even then, that version of Captain Marvel really never seemed interesting to me, mainly because when I think of Marvel's Captain Marvel, I think, where's my phone? Hold on. Okay, ignore the... I can see why they would definitely make it... Every time I look at the pictures of this character, I can definitely see why they would change it. When I think Marvel's Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers, I think of this character. I think of Miss Marvel. This character. Focus, stupid. Oh, for God's sake. I don't know if that will work. Nope, that didn't work. Oh, for God's sake. The black singlet with the lightning bolt through it. That's what I think of. Obviously, there is no chance in hell this would ever work. In live action, I believe something like that happened in a cartoon. They used that character, that version. I know this was my interaction with Miss Marvel, and that's who I think. Carol Danvers is who I think of when I think of Marvel, because that was Miss Marvel. I don't think of Kamala Khan. I think of Carol Danvers, Miss Captain Marvel from the Superhero Squad show, where she was voiced by the same one who voiced Frankie from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Hot-headed, crazy, very angry, loud, ready to just beat the shit out of people, bruv. And different powers, definitely. Scaling, I guess. That costume is fine. I actually like it. I actually like Captain Marvel's costume. I will never deny that. The costume is awesome. I just never liked her character. Again, nothing against Brie Larson. I loved her in Kong Skull Island, which I always remember being King of Skull Island. I've never heard of Photon until Multiverse of Madness, which, again, that's a movie that I've heard people shit on a lot. But the reason I've heard people crap on it is because there's not a lot of multiverse in Multiverse of Madness. The multiverse kind of remained to just using the Illuminati, which introduced Photon to people. Why would I do that? Hold on. There we go. My main problem with Multiverse of Madness was their mistreatment of Black Bolt, a character that, well, fair enough, I don't know, but when you introduce a character that can destroy anything just by saying something, and you announce that to a reality bender like Scarlet Witch, that irritates me. Even then, with Scarlet Witch, a character that is really well written, a character that has great character. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of Scarlet Witch. I like her, but I'm not the biggest Scarlet Witch fan. She had another great solo run, with Vision in WandaVision. That was a great show where it showed how, I don't want to say crazy. Well, I will. Crazy Wanda can get. And that was technically the introduction of Scarlet Witch, since while we as fans knew she was Scarlet Witch, she was never officially called Scarlet Witch until WandaVision, I believe a finale or a semi-finale, and Multiverse of Madness, where it was introduced of the Scarlet Witch. Female characters are I'll say this about female characters. They are hard to get right sometimes. Sometimes you strike gold with the one that always comes off of my mind, Black Widow. That is probably one of the best written female characters in Marvel. Another one that comes up, I'll stick to Marvel. I'm also looking at my Funko shelf. I love the writing of Jane Foster Thor. I thought she was funny. I thought she was awesome. I thought she was action-packed. But again, I'm biased because I love Love and Thunder. I hate the people who thought it was too comical. This is a guy coming off of depression. He's lost everyone he loves. And all of a sudden, ex-girlfriend comes back with his hammer. And honest to God, I was kind of rooting for them. Then, nothing. Speaking of Love and Thunder, Valkyrie. There's a great written character. Nebula and Gamora, awesomely written characters and sisters. Going into animation, again, Moon Girl and her friend, I forget her name. I haven't caught up on Moon Girl. I really need to. I had Yelena, of course. Scarlet Witch. There are no... MJ, I will admit, of the three love interests of the Spider-Man movies, Michelle Jones, I would dare say, she's right up there with Gwen. And this is coming from someone who does not like Gwen Stacy. I have nothing against Gwen Stacy. I think she is awesome. She is a great written character. Even Spider-Gwen, Gwenpool, all that stupid Gwenum. I don't like them, but I respect that they are well written and great characters. I just don't like them. If you're wondering why, same reason that some people won't like Hulk, same people won't like Batman or Superman. There's no real reason. There's just some characters you don't like. And there's the main thing. You sometimes just don't like a project. The Marvels was decent. I have no interest in watching it, but to the people who did watch it, I hope they had it in. I'm gonna guess they liked the movie, or they didn't necessarily care for it. Either way, they were hooked enough to watch it. In my opinion, if you are watching a Marvel movie just to say, just with the mentality of, oh, it's in the MCU, I have to watch it. You are going in with the worst mentality of a movie ever. A movie should never be viewed just to say you completed a fucking timeline or anything like that. That should never be your mentality for a movie, which I know is what some people might do. They might just watch a movie just to say they watched the movie in the timeline. That's not the right reason to watch a movie. You watch a movie because the trailer hyped you up, and that I'll give the Marvels that the reason it could have failed is the marketing was almost non-existent until the last month or so before it came out, because then there were trailers almost everywhere. At least where I got on YouTube, there were a bunch of trailers for the movie. I don't know. Here's more well-written female characters. Shuri from... I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Shuri from Black Panther, his sister, Chad Panther's sister. I was trying to think of his name. T'Challa, I believe. Or well, nah, it is T'Challa because T'Chaka is dead in Black Panther, I believe. And Odeki, whatever I hate this kind of names where I can't pronounce. The soldier from Endgame that was just laying down, motherfuckers. Wasp Wasp is well written. That's another one I need to check out. Quantum Mania. Admittedly, I skipped Ant-Man the Wasp because this is the thing. This is another thing. Ant-Man the Wasp Quantum Mania looked interesting to me to where I want to watch it, unlike Ant-Man and the Wasp. I've heard that was a great movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. A great sequel to Ant-Man. My problem is, that one didn't look interesting to me, so I didn't watch it. Ant-Man Quantumania looks interesting, so I'm going to watch it. Same with Thor. None of the fucking Thor movies looked good to me. I was never the biggest Thor fan. Then Love and Thunder comes out, and that movie hooked me on Thor, a character I have never been the biggest fan of his solo stuff. I think I watched the first Thor movie, and that's it. Because to me, Thor was always a better character when he had the other Avengers to bounce off of. Grant, I think I watched the one with Hela. I think I did watch that one with my cousins. Was that Dark World or Ragnarok? I think that was Ragnarok. I watched Ragnarok and with my cousins at my grandma's house years ago. It was fine. Not a movie I would ever watch by myself, but it was fine. Love and Thunder, on the other hand, I could watch that movie anytime. Because I love it. That's the main thing. I will more than happily give a bunch of movies a shot, but the main thing is not because I want to finish a timeline or because it's Marvel or any of that. Your main focus of watching a Marvel movie is because you like the characters they're using, or you like the story they're doing, or you fucking are hooked by the fucking trailers. That's the point of movies. To hook you, to entertain you. Anyone who is, mainly this is critics bullshit. If you're looking for masterpiece of theater, every time you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because comic book movies, especially, aren't always going to be serious. They are still men and women in spandex costumes of tights fighting the forces of evil. They are always going to be ridiculous. So, let go of standards. Just try to have fun with it. It's Marvel. It's same with DC. Have fun with it, goddammit. The whole point of movies is to turn your brain off for an hour and a half at the least and just have fun. Have fun at the movies. Find anything, even a bad movie. There are crap movies in my collection that I can acknowledge. They suck. But I love them because they suck. The key one, hold on, I'm going to grab them real quick because screw it, it's right here. Where are you? There you are. Jason Statham, his freaking Transporter trilogy. These movies are, especially this one, Transporter 3, these are god-awful. But my god, do I love them. Same with the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. That movie is ass, but it's fun. To quote Panda Red, when he was talking about, when he did a Regrettable Superhero of the Month, or Regrettable Superhero of the Week, yes, it's dumb, but it's fun dumb. Fun dumb is the best and the perfect way to describe your experience, to describe a comic book movie. What it's supposed to be is an experience. Fun. Sometimes dumb, but fun. And to gender swapping characters or race swapping characters, as long as it's not done for a grand scheme of, look what we've done, we're so inclusive, I don't give a shit. If it's just there are certain characters I guess shouldn't be swapped, but it's a comic book. If you don't like that incarnation, guess what? The comics still exist. That topic is mainly because of a rumor, I guess, and there's the key fucking phrase, people. Rumor! Nothing's been confirmed. There's been a rumor that went around that there was going to be a new Fantastic Four movie, but there was going to be a female Silver Surfer, and people went ballistic for it. I don't give a rat's ass. I was never the biggest... Again, Silver Surfer is one of those characters where I'm only a fan of a certain version of him, and that is the Superhero Squad show. Version of Silver Surfer. And apparently, and I did some research on this, yes, it's not Earth 616, but there is a version of Silver Surfer that is a woman. There is a female. But also, let's remember this. Silver Surfer is a herald for Galactus! It's a herald that his job is to go to planets, evacuate or warn them that, hey, this Titan that's going to eat your planet like an apple is coming. Get out! Who cares if it's a woman or not? Yes, people have argued there's already a female herald of Galactus. But my thing is this. If you go through people, and this coincidentally the one that showed off the best chance of doing a good version of the character is a woman, I don't care. I just don't. I never understand why people sometimes get mad at this. I don't care. Again, my main thing is you have gender swap or race swap a character, just don't do it just to say, look what we did. We're inclusive. Do it because it was the right people for the character. It was the right person to portray the character. They did a great job on auditioning. Disney knows to do this now, should know to do this now after the abomination we almost had with the scare of Rachel Ziegler's Snow White. Rumored that apparently in her interview saying she had no idea what she was auditioning for. She has no love for Snow White. She hates the character. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Never hire people that hate what they're in. There's a message for you. If you're a movie producer and you're hiring actors or actresses, make sure the people, one, know what they're auditioning for, and two, like what they're working on. Another topic is, and this is also going to be late, I guess, that Marvel movies are dying out because no one's seeing them anymore. You're not seeing them anymore just because you don't like them. A new audience is going to grow into this new era of Marvel. Just because you don't like the character, just because there's a group of people that don't like the movies, doesn't mean the movies are going to die. Yes, it is sad that these movies are not making their budget back, but here's the thing. It all depends on a couple of factors. Marketing and promoting. I believe I said that already with marketing. You need to hook the audience. That is a main prospect of it. And using characters that I'm going to probably hurt some people that aren't that well liked. Because admittedly, when she first showed up, Captain Marvel, while there's a great box office, I believe, hit for Marvel, she still wasn't the most popular character. She was kind of boring. Granted, she did have a lot more personality seemingly in this movie because she had more people to bounce off of, and she's now... She just seems more alive in this movie than in her previous on-screen roles. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, not exactly the best Disney live action, not the best Disney plus Marvel show. I believe, I almost think that's the worst one that's been received next to She-Hulk. So using her, not good, and even Photon, no one I think knew about her. And the people who, for someone who had a bit role, now having this major thing. Yes, it's worked sometimes, but also, I don't know. And even then, who was asking for the Marvels? I don't know a lot of people that were asking for Captain Marvel 2. I don't know. Again, this is all opinionated. I'm just speaking out of my ass on this. My whole thing with Marvel, they're not done making movies. They'll probably never be done making movies because characters will always exist. These characters will always continue. Stories will always be being made. And there's so much stuff they can do. I don't know. I just hate... The main thing about this was definitely the Marvel should have ended after Endgame and Marvel is dead. It pisses me off as a Marvel fan. I hate it. They're in a up and down slump. It's a perfect way to describe it. They have had their ups and they've had their downs. That's it. Thank you for listening to me rant about this.